So Dan, what advice do you have in selecting supplies that are, safe for your employees, safe for your clients, but also really highly effective in cleaning? Because in today's world, everyone's looking, it has to be safe, it has to be effective. And how do you suggest that people start looking at selecting new supplies?
So first things first is get a hold of your supplier and have that conversation of, I want to standardize. That's how you have to approach your suppliers. I want to standardize. That's the single most important thing is, standardize. I grew up with a sister. She just dye her hair red, then it was blonde, and it was black, and it was what I said, pick a color and stick with it. So I know who you are when you're coming in the door, right? So standardize your supplies. Standardize your equipment. You wouldn't believe how much money you will save when you have 50 of the same vacuums or 500 of the same vacuums and one blows a fan. And this has this. We have a graveyard of parts. Now you're not sourcing more new materials. You're not aggravating yourself by trying to buy different stuff for every different kind of equipment you have, right? And not only that, but you can increase your buying volume, your buying power by buying X amount of these kinds of mop handles or mop buckets or whatever it may be. So yep. I would say the very first piece of advice is standardize your consumables as much as you can. Now you can't standardize your customers' consumables, meaning their paper towels or their hand soaps, because that's not what I'm describing. I'm describing is equipment and chemicals that the contractor uses for their everyday activities to deliver the service they promise their customer. Standardize those. So then you can teach all the employees, they can teach each other. They all have the same brain recognition and they know how to do it. So that's the first question is for standardization. And then, someone who's qualified, who understands chemistry, all the green stuff, they'll ask the right questions. What are we cleaning? What environment are we in? Are we in hospital? Are we in industrial? Are we in factories? Or, where are we cleaning, right? Give me a lowdown of your portfolio. Anyone that is seasoned in this business won't give you a list this long of products. It's going to be a handful of those products that you really truly need. And if you need a specialty product, we'll carve them out, set them on the shelf, put them in a locker, if you will, under a desk or wherever your secret hiding spots are, because when this particular instance happens, we'll selectively pull that product off the shelf. And it only goes in management's hands and then put back in place when finished, if there's any left over. Not to distribute to everyone and be like, I had a great experience with this activated hydrochloric acid, and then you give it to your part-time employee who didn't have much training, and then you're buying faucets for your client because it didn't work good on everything.
Yeah.
So standardize and then get a really small selection set of products that you embrace for your business. Keep the one-offs off to the side and compartmentalize your supplies. Yep.
That's awesome. So find that strong supply partner and leverage their experience to help train and onboard you and get that standardized list.
Yep. And by the way, throw the old stuff out if you can. If it's not part of the standardization, don't keep it around. Don't be a hoarder, because the cleaner and neater your closets are, the better representation you're going to have with your client as well. Oh, and Mike,
great point.
So this also helps when employees are out or call out or are on vacation, because now when the next employee goes to fill in your shoes, they go in a closet that looks just like theirs that they left.
Yep.
They know how to turn on the vacuum. They know what chemical to reach for. They just merge on the highway at full speed and there's no bumps in the road. So that's another good reason to standardize your product line.
You bring up a great point. If you look at certain car dealerships, BMW, I used to be a mechanic and I worked with BMW. And when I visited different dealerships or I went for training, the carpet, the windows, the lighting, everything was the exact same. Now, the layout of the building might be a bit different, but they actually, they specialize. So when you walked in as a customer, it wasn't for the employee, but for the customer. Every place they visited, it felt natural. It's like, oh, I feel, I'm in a different city and my car broke down. Okay. It's very similar. I've never really drawn that comparison. But with the Jander's Closet, that you set your team up for success. and your clients are looking in that room and assessing how you're managing it.
How many times, and this could be a whole nother topic that you might want to talk about, or maybe your team would like, your clients would like to talk about, but I've had the experience where the clients are like, well, the lady on the third floor, her closet's neat and she does the best job ever. She may not have ever dusted a damn thing ever, but you go down to the closet underneath to Bob, and Bob's closet's a mess, and they want Bob gone. Please replace Bob, right?
Yeah.
It's a representation. It's your brand.
100%.
So you want every single cleaning closet as standard as you possibly can, because that is your logo. That is your brand.